Okay, so no spoilers. Do not worry about that. This is going to be spoiler free. But also, I'm not going to just be talking about Batman vs Superman. I'm going to be talking. Well, obviously, going to be make a review of the film, but I'm going to mostly want to focus on the fact that, well, there's been a lot of buzz in the internet, about this film in particular, but not so much about the actual movie itself, but the fact of, well, when a movie comes out, who can you honestly trust? Critics or the fans? And well, this is difficult to explain, but I'll get into that in a second. So let's just get to actually, the review of Batman vs Superman. Uh, let's start off with the score. 5 out of 10. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. And pretty much what everyone's been saying, like, oh my god, this thing's freaking bullshit. I don't agree that it's complete horseshit, but at the same time, people are saying this is one of the best movies of all time and that this pretty much trumps anything that Marvel's ever done. Okay, you were obviously on something, but it's not nowhere near as good. I'm in the dead middle, and honestly, that kind of sucks because what the fuck? I'm offering nothing. I'm honestly in the dead middle, and I've watched the movie. I actually watched the full damn thing, and I'm still indifferent about it. But regardless of that, let's go to the actual, details of it. Um, Pros. Well, this film. Okay, the best part of this damn movie is hands down Ben Affleck as Batman. I mean, holy crap. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even trying to say anything because you know what? I'm glad I reserved judgment. This whole time, when Ben Affleck was announced, everyone was talking mad shit saying he's not going to fucking pull it off. This asshole, are you kidding me? But me, I was like, I know Ben Affleck and I know that he's a good actor, so I'm going to hold, reserve judgment. And I am glad I did because my God, I'm no hyperbole or exaggeration at all, but he might be the best Batman out there. And this is also due to the fact that, well, his tone, like the overall tone of his character is so much darker. And you can see that he's been doing this for years. It's like a freaking battle freaking this Batman is awesome. I freaking loved him. I loved Alfred, Jeremy Irons. I just loved the banter between them. I loved the bond between them. It was believable. I freaking loved these characters. And on top of that, I also loved Wonder Woman. Again, I loved the tone. It was dark and gritty. I liked, I liked the tone. Some people may be turned off by the tone, but I personally love the dark tone. Okay, so yeah, bottom line, I enjoyed those aspects of the film. Now the negatives, everything that makes it a film, kind of. Okay, now I don't really want to blame the writing so much in this, but the story was very convoluted. I mean, there were so many pieces to it. And as I've said like before, like other videos, it's I'm a comic book fan, so obviously I'm used to this. I'm able to get all of the damn stories and put them all together in my mind because there's a lot of shit going on, but I can keep up. But just because I could keep up does not mean that it was good. The pacing was not well done. Sometimes cuts were jarring. It's like sometimes like, oh, here's this scene. We're gonna cut away from it immediately. It's like, okay, now we're over here. But I wanted to see what happens over there. Oh, you'll find out once we cut back to it after 3 more cuts to other scenes. It's like, okay, so you're just movie just hops around without any rhyme or reason, and it's very disorienting. And I really did not like that. And again, the story's stock, obviously if you know the story of like the comic books, this is, the same story. So I'm not saying that's, regular bull. I'm just saying the story is the same. It's just paced wrong. It's done wrong. And I mainly blame this on the directing. Oh God. I really don't want to say this, but I feel like, yeah, the direction of this film really ruined it for me. And sorry, Zack Snyder, but I don't trust you, man. This wasn't. I don't know. Just bottom. That's pretty much all I want to say about that. Okay, another pro that I didn't say earlier. The action that was actually really well done. So yes, Zack Snyder, you can do action really well. I freaking love the fight scenes, especially the Arkham Knight inspired fight scenes with Batman. That stuff was great. But that does not hold this movie above the water. It drowns amongst all of its craziness, and it's not good. Again, I'm not hating it, but I'm not loving it. I'm very indifferent about it. So having said all that, whatever. That's my review. 5 out of 10. Sorry. But regardless of all that, let's get to the actual, the discussion. Because again, people are freaking losing their minds. People are like, who the hell should I listen to? Should I listen to the fans? Should I listen to the critics? Oh, I watched the movie. You're a fucking idiot. This movie's awesome. Or like, this movie's actually really bad. No, fuck you. This movie's great. People are arguing over this shit, and honestly, it's a little nuts. So I want to at least, shine some light and at least, I don't know, just hear me rant for a couple minutes. But yeah, okay. Critics, well, their whole job is to make a review. Their whole job is to analyze a film, watch it from end to end, and analyze everything, try to see what makes it strong, what makes it weak, and pretty much they defragment a whole film. And in some instances, that's not really what, the movie goer wants to, really focus on. They, again, reviews are subjective, I mean, obviously, but reviewers, or at least professional reviewers, actually do this for a living. They've watched so many movies. They understand what makes a movie good. Even though it's subjective, there are actual, aspects of a film that make it shine above others. There are, certain scenes, certain aspects, cinematography. There are reasons why we give these certain aspects awards. So their, credentials actually back up the fact of what they're talking about. But at the same time, they're critics. They're not you. They're not gonna, they're not gonna hold the same views as you. They're gonna, focus on small little details. They're gonna look at negatives that you would have never noticed because obviously you're not that in depth. I'm not saying that, oh, you're too dumb to notice the little details. It's just you as a viewer don't care about those little details because they're not that important to you. Even though to a reviewer, they would be so important because they pretty much borderline show or like they pretty much just ruin certain aspects of the film. Even though you didn't notice them, you just don't care about them. And not to mention, well, some reviewers can be bought off. And that is part of the industry. And hell, at that point, you may be thinking, fuck that. They focus on too little small, they're just nitpicking. They're just doing that, nitpicking, choosing small little things that you wouldn't even care about. And how can you trust them? They're part of the industry, so fuck them. Now let's go to the audience, or fans in this case. Obviously, that's you and me. That's obviously the fans, the people who go out to watch the movies, the people who are putting their, the consumers. They're putting their time and effort to go watch a movie. It's not their job. They're doing it to enjoy themselves. And again, they're you and me. So why can't I trust you and me? Well, I can trust myself, but I don't know if I can trust you. And that's what it comes down to. You can't really trust the audience. You can't really trust fans because, well, amongst a lot of those fans, there are fanboys. Now, before I get into this, I just want to establish that when I say fanboy, I am going by the actual definition that, the internet has made up for it. Because prior, a fanboy meant a fan, a person who enjoyed something. That's it. A fan is someone who enjoys something, a certain franchise or a certain, movie series, whatever. But a fanboy, which has since become a derogatory term, personally, I don't like it, but it's so well, integrated into our, speech patterns on the internet, so it's pretty much become this word. A fanboy is a person who loves something so unconditionally, so blindly. It doesn't matter if they make a bad movie. It doesn't matter if they make the shittiest movie possible. They don't see any wrong. They love it unconditionally, and they freaking don't care what you say, even if it does have fundamentally, bad things about it. They don't care. They love it. So screw you. No. And honest to God, I can, sympathize with these people because, hell, I'm a freaking fanboy. I freaking love things. I understand that, certain things are not going to be appeal to everyone, but I don't give a shit about their opinion because it's my opinion. I fucking love this thing so much that even if they mess up in certain instances or this movie wasn't that great, I'm still going to love it because the characters, the things that I love about this freaking series is on the screen and I enjoy the shit out of it. And if you're like me and you're like that, good on you because it's fantastic. You're seeing what you love on screen. It's people's general consensus or like reviews, bad reviews telling you, oh, this movie's shitty. I'm happy that honestly those things don't tarnish your view or your joy of this certain movie. Having said that though, just because you aren't, dissatisfied with the product or whatever the hell it is, does not mean that you have to pretty much throw your damn opinion everywhere. And pretty much it's futile. What I mean is like you pretty much going, oh, you're fucking wrong. This movie's fantastic. You're like, you have to understand that you're running on blinders. You're blinded by love, essentially in this case. You do not understand it. You are pretty much blind. For other people, yeah, that's great. They can shut the hell up. They have no actual bearing in your opinion. But just because people don't agree with their opinion, or if a general whole population is pretty much saying, no, you're wrong, doesn't mean you have to go back and say, fuck you, no, you're wrong. Because in that case, it's kind of futile and it's kind of annoying. And yeah, I'm saying that, yeah, but fanboys can be fucking annoying. Because even though something is obviously very bad, you still like it. And you not liking it is the problem. You liking it so much that you're trying to force your goddamn views on the people, that's the annoying part. That's the part where you're like, dude, shut the hell up. I get it. You like it. I don't like it. And everyone else agrees with me. Now, this is also another thing. Having said that, I understand there's a bandwagon effect. There's people who are like, if a certain movie has a certain consensus and 51% loved this movie, 51, the next day I guarantee that number is going to increase because, well, that's just what happens. It's peer pressure. Oh, well, maybe they liked it more. Maybe I'll give it another chance. You know what? They're right. I can see what they're going for, even though I didn't see that prior. Or it's just, it's all going to end up. So regardless of everything I just fucking said, we're back to square one. Who the hell do we trust? I mean, seriously, I can't really trust critics because of certain things, and we can't really trust fans. But in most cases, movies aren't this split. Movies are usually, yes, this is a good movie. Or yeah, this movie sucks. Or everyone agrees this movie sucks. Or it's good, a good portion, a certain amount of people say this movie's good. You might like it because you're a niche audience, fine, blah, blah, blah. But when certain cases like Batman vs. Superman come around, where literally fucking everyone is split down the middle, and critics say they hate it, while fans say they love it, who the hell do you trust? And in this case, my answer is nobody. Don't listen to the internet. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to critics. Don't listen to, essentially, people you can't trust because they're not you. But the funny thing is, you can trust in this situation? Well, people who you actually trust in real life. What I mean by that is like your friends, the people who have common interests with, people who have the same movie, like the taste in movies as you, people, critics that for a fact that I freaking love this critic because he sees the way it is, like the way I see it. I can freaking understand what he's saying. Do that. Listen to certain people. Don't listen to the consensus. Don't listen to the critics as a whole because looking at Rotten Tomato scores, looking at freaking scores on IMDb, it's just fucking nuts. Because again, in most cases, yeah, this movie's great, or yeah, this movie's whatever, or it sucks, whatever. But when a movie's so split down the middle, fuck both sides and just listen to the people who are close to you. Honest to God. And again, like me, I just reviewed this fucking movie, and I offered nothing. I'm literally in the middle of the road, a 5 out of 10. That pretty much what is to me is this movie is not good enough for me even to talk about. Like my interest ended when the movie ended. And also, this movie's not bad enough for me to go around saying, oh, avoid this film at all costs, because I can't really say that. I'm in the middle of the road. I cannot choose. But that's my choice. I'm indifferent about it. I could care less about it. It was a movie. I watched it. I had some enjoyment out of it, but I also had, displeasure with it. But again, I'm so in the middle that I could care less. So bottom line, and look, I understand people on the internet, it's fun and shit, arguments. I get it. It's fun. It's, fun to, have a little banter back and forth. And, people are trolling and shit. People are actually having serious conversations. People just love the thrill of arguing. And honestly, I'm one of those people because I do the same thing. But when it comes down to it, in all seriousness, people who are legitimately taking this shit to heart, saying, oh, fuck you, this movie is fantastic, how dare you talk about this shit, while others saying, like, dude, I'm a fan too, and I fucking hated this movie too, what are you talking about? You guys need to just shut the fuck up. Because you have to understand that everything is subjective, and at the end of the day, yes, it's subjective. If a movie's fantastic, everyone agrees, yeah, sure, that's subjective too, but it's a consensus, everyone agrees, or everyone hates this movie. I keep repeating this shit, but it's because you need to get that in your head. This movie is not going to be one of those movies. Not everyone's going to fucking love it, not everyone's going to like it. This is one of those beautiful cases where it's so split down the middle that everyone is just freaking eating each other alive. And in this case, again, don't trust anyone other than the actual people you trust. People who you see with honest to God, value. People who you can see, I trust your taste in movies. Because by the end of the day, that's what you should care about before you watch a film. Sure, a critic might love this, but if your friend says, oh, dude, I want to go watch it, and I honestly think you'd hate it. You'd think I hate it, but the critics say I'd love it. Who am I going to trust more? My friend or the critics? And when it comes down to it, who do you trust? Your friends more, usually. So yeah, bottom line, that's my little rant. Thank you for listening, or if you clicked away, you're never going to hear this, so thank you for even clicking on the video in the first place. But yeah, that's it. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Jesus Christ. And I will see you guys later.